Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second public hearing on a property tax millage rate hearing. We received our digest numbers from the Oconee County Tax Commissioner's Office. The incorporated digest has increased from just under 392 million in 2025 to 424 million in 2026. $19 million of that increase is real growth, so that's the new stuff that's been built since the last digest. Incorporated exemptions have also increased by $4 million during that same time period. Unincorporated digest increased from 3.3 billion to 3.5 billion for 2026. 176 million of that increase is real growth. And also unincorporated exemptions increased by 63 million during that same time period. The calculated rollback rates are as follows. The unincorporated rollback rate should be 4.157, incorporated 4.984. These are calculated by the tax commissioner, and the real growth in the digest. If you take the real growth in the digest, calculate that the rollback rates will generate $824,893 in additional tax revenue. State law requires that the gross digest be set in equal amounts for both the incorporated and unincorporated property. The millage rate is then reduced by local option sales tax, and that's county-wide. So every resident in the county receives a local option sales tax reduction from the county. And then we also do an insurance premium tax reduction. And each jurisdiction gets their own insurance premium from the insurance commissioner's office. So that we've just reduced county residents for our portion of that. The recommended millage rate for 2026 are being recommended as follows. Unincorporated will be 4.124, and that is under the rollback rate calculated by the tax commissioner. Incorporated will be 5.154, which is the same as the 2025 number. The recommended rates will generate additional property taxes of $788,124 over the taxes generated in 2025. And that number is 4.5% less than the true real growth of the digest at the rollback rates. Based on the state law required calculations, we must hold a tax increase hearing for the recommended millage rates. And this is our second hearing. Our third hearing will be on August 25th, followed by adoption at our August 25th meeting. Any questions from commissioners? We'll be happy to take any public comments on the tax millage rate. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at this time. So welcome to Oconee County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is Tuesday, August the 4th, 2026. After a moment of silence, we're going to ask Mark Thomas to lead us in the pledge. Please stand. Thank you.
United States, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business be to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any statements or remarks from citizens? Any statements or remarks from commissioners? We were contacted by a group in reference to food insecurity in the county. We have responded back with email, but I see a group's here tonight, so we just want to kind of run through that response. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Come on up. There you go.
So first of all, thank you so much for your time. My name is Ray Smith, and I'm speaking on behalf of Community Works Oconee. On May 1st, we hosted a listening session that brought together organizations that feed people in the county. They were ACTS, that's Area Churches Together Serving, ESP, Extra Special People, the Food Bank of Northeast Georgia, Oconee County School District, Master Gardeners Extension Volunteer Program, and Oconee Presbyterian Church, with additional information from OIRC, but they weren't able to attend on that day. First, I want to say thank you for your email, Chair Daniel. We are glad that you responded to us, and we know that food insecurity is already something that the commission is aware of and is working very hard on. So our goal with this report and this listening session was not to indicate that you guys aren't doing anything that you're supposed to be doing. You are. It's just to provide additional information and perhaps help to close some gaps that maybe haven't been seen because of different groups not talking to each other, that kind of thing. So let me start with the good news. First, we have a really good network of different organizations. The last page of our report maps how the food actually moves from donors, USDA, through the food bank and actually gets to families. The partnerships are mostly informal, but it seems like they are actually functioning really well. Let's see. And if someone actually asks for food assistance and they qualify for it, it seems like we are actually able to get the food there. So that's fantastic. But the issue is that roughly 10% of Oconee residents are food insecure, and that data comes from a few different organizations. It's available in the report. And we're at best able to provide assistance to about 1 in 3 of those people. So why do we have that gap between the need and what's actually being provided? There's 2 big categories. That's access and stigma. For access, the big one is eligibility. There's a large eligibility gap statewide. This isn't a county-specific problem. But in Oconee, we have a particular problem where the cost of living is relatively high, while the eligibility for programs is not necessarily determined based on the cost of living or the income of the local area. So there are a significant number of people that are falling into that gap. So that's close to 4,000 families that are unable to get access to services, even though they do have some need. The second is stigma. We heard from some local school officials that many parents won't sign their kids up for free and reduced lunch because even though they qualify, the stigma of being on that program, particularly in a county like Oconee where wealth is very much on display, and they don't want their kids to feel the shame of needing access to that food, and they don't want the other kids to bully them. So food security really is a symptom, not the root cause of all of this. The root cause is cost of living. People can't really negotiate their rent costs or utility costs or any of those other things. And so they tend to cut food first. They could skip a meal here and there. They could maybe access that assistance more easily than they could assistance for rent or assistance for utilities or transportation costs like gas or an Uber. We've seen eviction rates go up in Oconee a lot in the last couple of years. So that's another obvious symptom of the rising cost of living causing a lot of these issues. So our report listed 7 gaps, and this is the very end, so I promise I'm wrapping up here. I really appreciate your time. So let's see. 7 gaps with each pairing with an idea that possibly we could implement in the county. Some of these apply to the organizations we talked to, and some of them we might be able to get assistance from you at the county level to help facilitate these things. Let's see. 1, a single place to find help. There's no central listing of what's available. That's not exactly true. There are some resources that list some of these things, but none of them are comprehensive. And access, like I mentioned before, is one of the primary barriers to actually getting service. Let's see. 2, coordination. These groups know each other, but there's not currently a periodic meeting. We provided the first one of these, and we're happy to provide that service in the future. We've already been talking with a couple of the groups, but it would be great to have county buy-in, and we'll invite some of you guys to the next one as well if you're interested in attending and hearing more about this. 3, shared data. They're all tracking their data in different ways. The food bank is one hub of information. ACTS, that's Area Churches Together Serving, they have their own system that they're using for their pantry system. But that data isn't really being aggregated, so it's difficult to get an accurate picture of what food insecurity looks like in Oconee County. So having some help with that would be awesome. And that's it. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. And if you did not receive our report earlier by email, we'd be happy to send that to you later as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so much.
Let me make a comment. I served, I don't know, maybe close to 12 years on Oconee Area Resource Council. And commission is and has been supportive of that organization. In fact, I think when most of us got back in, the contribution was 5,000. We got it up to 20,000. So, and they do with it as they need to do. So I would just say that we have been supportive in trying to get funds to at least that organization.
Yeah, we heard great things about OARC as well, and the work that the county's been putting with them. I wasn't trying to indicate in any way you guys aren't doing anything you're supposed to do. We actually think that the county's done a great job. Our goal was simply to highlight some gaps that exist and possibly facilitate a conversation.
Yeah, and I wasn't accusing you of not addressing, but I think a lot of people don't know that the county, that this board hasn't always been that way, to be quite honest with you, but this board has been very open to that organization so that they can, purchase supplies, which goes out to the, I mean, I've gone and delivered Christmas presents and because there are some needy families in this county.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just want to let you know that we'll continue doing that.
Any other comments from commissioners? Our next item is to approve the minutes from July 6th, July 7th, and July 28th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as distributed.
Second.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item is discuss and consider a resolution supporting the Georgia Transportation Infrastructure Bank grant application. Justin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Last week, I discussed the proposed grant from the Georgia Transportation Infrastructure Bank, CERTA, that I wish to apply for the Dawson Park, excuse me, entrance project. So it would be 2 roundabouts and a right in, right out. Excuse me. So the request here before you in resolution form is just authorizing me to submit the grant to CERTA and the GTIB for the amount of $2 million that would go toward the entrance to Dawson Park. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions on this? Do you have any public comment? We're ready for a motion.
Make a motion, we approve resolution supporting Georgia Transmission Infrastructure Bank, GTIB grant application.
All right, a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Now we'll move on to our hearings and zoning, actions on zoning matters. We're going to call rezone request P 26-0122 Burgess Jennings Land LLC. This is to modify the conditions of existing rezones P 24-0100 and P 25-0188. This is 22.83 acres.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Again, this is rezone P 26-0122, Burgess Jennings Mill Land LLC, applicant and owner. These are the parcels subject to the rezone. They're currently zoned B2 in the regional center character area. And the request is to change the conditions of the previous zoning cases, P 24-0100 and P 25-0188, zoned to B2 to modify the conditions of approval. Changes requested are: 1, revised concept plan to show lots being combined. Number 2, change the maximum allowed building square footage from 174,500 square feet to 250,000 square feet. The recorded plat in your application packet and the concept plans that were also included. Architectural images submitted with the application. And staff recommends conditional approval with our 3 standard conditions. Number 4, an updated traffic impact analysis shall be submitted for review prior to submission of the site development plans for lots 1, 2, 3, 4, 8A, 9, or 10 to address the additional square footage of buildings proposed. Required traffic improvements is indicated on the revised TIS for 250,000 square feet to meet the UDC shall be installed prior to the approval of site development plans for lots 1, 2, 3, 4, 8A, 9, and 10. Number 5, the Goddard Way Road along the frontages of lots 5 and 6 shall be updated to curb and gutter. Number 6, an administrative plat shall be submitted for review and approved, recorded prior to submission of the site development plans. Number 7, service areas and dumpsters shall be visually screened from public view by a 6-foot masonry wall with facade materials matching the exterior of principal structures with black painted metal steel enclosure doors. Enclosure doors made of chain or wood or chain link are prohibited. Number 8, no outdoor display or storage of merchandise shall be allowed, including seasonal items. This shall include seasonal items sold from a trailer. Number 9, no merchandise or displays are allowed to be stored in parking or drive aisle areas. This includes any use of tractor trailers or shipping containers used for excess storage. Number 10, the total building square footage of all lots in the Research Quarter subdivision shall not exceed 250,000 square feet. The following uses, number 11, the following uses allowed by right in the B2 district shall not be allowed. And the Planning Commission recommended approval subject to conditions recommended by the staff with the following amendments, and staff does concur with these amendments. Number 1, modify the condition, staff recommended condition number 4 to read: an updated traffic impact analysis based on the rezone modification concept plan and narrative shall be submitted for review and approval. Required traffic improvements as indicated on the revised TIS shall be installed prior to the approval of a certificate of occupancy for lots 1, 2, 3, 4, 8A, 9, and 10. And number 2 would be to remove the staff recommended condition number 5, as it has already been addressed. Thank you.
Now we'll hear from the owner or the agent of the owner. Ken?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Board of Commissioners. I'm Ken Bell, Bell and Company, and we've prepared the plans and related documents that you'll be acting on this evening. I want to just explain something. I think most of you are aware that this project has, because we requested more than 175,000 square feet, we're now requesting more than 175,000 square feet because the demand for the project has greatly exceeded the owner's expectations of what they envisioned originally when the project was planned. And so we wanted to go from the 175 up to 250. And to do that, it required the development of regional impact analysis. And so we prepared those documents. And of course, I know that you're aware that that also triggers a 30-day delay once the state has received all the proper documents to get their review done and back to the county. So that was done, and I'm happy to say that we're very pleased with the feel, I have to say feel, for lack of the way it used to be. It used to be either it was recommended to be in the best interest of the state or it was not in the best interest of the state. Well, they don't do that anymore. They don't make a recommendation, but the overall flavor of the analysis is very favorable. Let me just say that that is the recommendation, that it's feels favorable. And there were many items that they cited as being very favorable. We are happy with the staff report as well. And we're satisfied with all of the conditions. There's only one that I just want to bring up because I'm not sure. There was some discussion at the Planning Commission meeting about this particular condition, about there being required curb and gutter on the, I think it's Goddard Way right away, along the frontage of lot 5-6 shall be updated to curb and gutter. That condition also was one of the 10 conditions when we came before you to do a rezone to combine lots 5 and 6 into a single lot. And we talked about that. And we shared with you that we had, as part of our stormwater philosophy for the project, we wanted to slow water down, not speed water up. And if you put in curb and gutter right at the edge of the street, you're going to speed up the flow of the water and you're going to speed up its release. And so we did construct curb and gutter in the new street, but we specifically wanted to maintain grass solid roadside swales that were regraded to serve the purpose of stormwater rather than curb and gutter. And y'all approved it that way at the previous hearing. And it was discussed at the Planning Commission on this particular rezone, and that recommendation was to be approved with the roadside swales rather than the curb and gutter. So again, as I said, it's a very favorable report, and I want to thank the Planning Department for that report. I'll be happy to answer any other questions that you may have.
Thank you. Justin Greer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Justin Greer, Pittman and Greer Engineering, 1050 Barber Creek Drive. I'm here this evening. We represent the owner of Lot 1, Dr. Steve Prater. He's here. And just want to touch base a minute on 2 of those conditions that may affect him. So Dr. Prater purchased his lot in 2024. Because of that DRI, his lot gets roped into the zoning modification. It's just our concern that maybe 4 and 6, because he's a platted lot, we've been working on site development plans for him, getting ready to submit plans for him in the near future. E&E Architecture is working on building plans for him. We would request that Lot 1 be excluded from those 2 conditions. If we finish his plans, he gets them approved based on the modification at planning, maybe he gets the CO and the turning lanes, not improvements are there, he can't get a CO. Condition 6 says the administrative plat must be submitted for a review, approved, and recorded prior to submission of site development plans. I can't submit his plans until that's done. So he's really close to being ready to do that, and we just didn't want to encumber any of his development rights as part of those 2 conditions. So we would request that you remove him, Lot 1, from those 2, number 4 and 6. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak for the rezone? Does anyone wish to speak against? With that, we'll close public comments. Do we have any questions from commissioners?
Mr. Herring, I got a question. So addressing the previous comment about removing Lot 1 from 4 and 6. So if the square footage for Lot 1 would that be included into the traffic study that's going to be required?
It would, yes, sir.
Okay, so it's not excluding that from any future improvements that's
That's right.
required for the development?
That's right.
Okay.
I don't think staff would have an issue with Lot 1 being excluded. It's going to be a small medical office. The other lots are the ones that will probably generate the more traffic that'll need to be, and remain in the condition. So if that's something the board would like, that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. But I'll speak to 6. 6 is, they proposed, if you could show me the concept plan, the applicant actually proposed in the concept plan recombination of several lots. And if you note here, there's a red line there and the red line here. So you're combining 2, 3, and 4 and combining 9 and 10. Those would be the only locations that number 6 would apply, would be those lots that are being proposed to be recombined. It would not affect Lot 1 in any way.
And then also to address number 5 about the curb and gutter, I believe we had approved that previously.
That's right. And that was our amended condition. Yes, sir. Agreeing with the planning commission that had already been addressed. Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, so there's originally 10 conditions. Number 4 was modified. Number 5 was removed, leaving 9 total.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions from commissioners? Are we ready for a motion?
Mike,
Okay. There's 11 with number 5 gone, which leaves a total of 10 remaining at this point.
okay, I'll make a motion to approve rezone P26-0122 as presented, and removing condition number 5, and then also removing lot 1 from condition 4 and 6.
Also accepting the modified condition from the planning commission,
Yes,
number 4.
yes.
Do we have a second? Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve rezone request P 26-0122 with 10 conditions as discussed. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item is discuss and consider a quick claim deed for North Main Street property at 3rd Street. Daniel?
This is a historically interesting one. I've shown y'all the drawing that Frank Asher did of downtown Watkinsville. It's the only real record we have what the original town square looked like, because apparently the map that showed it officially was burned in courthouse fire. That map's maybe not as precise and specific as we would like, and as they have worked on plans to develop, redevelop, and add onto the property that as you face the courthouse is to its immediate right, they've determined that there's what a title attorney would call potential gore between 3rd Street and the building, and between the building and parking area. So basically the sidewalk and running down alongside. It amounts to about 1,300 square feet. After working with lawyers over Fort Bentley pretty extensively, I don't see the county has a claim on that. But in order to clear up the title, they're requesting that the county quit claim that sidewalk in that area right along the side of the building to, let's see, got off of it. BSC Properties LLLP. And I recommend that the board do that, and I think it'll clear up their problem and it won't hurt us. As we discussed, the county does own the parking spaces that are in front of this building. That won't affect that. So 1,300 square feet.
Any questions from Daniel on this item? All right. Do we have any public comment? All right. We're ready for a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the quick claim deed for North Main Street property at 3rd Street as submitted.
Second.
We have motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Does any commissioner wish any item to be removed from the consent agenda? Ready for a motion?
Make a motion to approve the consent items as submitted.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Do have need of an executive session to discuss potential litigation.
Make a motion, we go into, executive session, discuss litigation.
A motion second, all in favor? Motion carries. Need a motion to go back in regular session.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Saxon.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
We are adjourned.